What's up, legends? Today we've got yet another return from BGS, Beckett Grading Services, so I'm really excited to unveil the grades with you guys today. But before we do that, Beckett has recently announced some changes to their grading service, so I thought I would go over those announcements with you today, and then we'll get into our return. Alright, so I want to head over to Instagram here because this is where they kind of made some video announcements here. First of all, we have this one, just kind of an introduction saying that, hey, we've got some new stuff coming, and I guess this guy, Luke Miller, is now taking over Beckett, so probably part of the reason for the changes at Beckett, but I think it's a good thing. I feel like Beckett could use overhaul in certain areas. And the next one here is, I guess, more or less an announcement. It's actually basically just stating and just clarifying that Beckett is not changing anything about their grading scale. And the reason this is important is because I think about a year ago, Beckett did make an announcement that they were going to be changing their grading scale, and it actually got a lot of people upset. A lot of people, at least on social media, were kind of taking to the comments and expressing their frustration. And so actually what Beckett did at the time is they kind of pumped the brakes, and they kind of said, hey, let's send out this survey to everyone, because obviously this is not what collectors are wanting. So let's send out this survey and ask what people actually want from our service. And by the way, backtracking even further back from this, it sounds like at one point Beckett had actually planned to unveil an upgrade, or basically a change to their Beckett slabs as far as the label and the look of everything. It sounds like one of the conventions they had a some sort of display that actually showed what this new case looked like, and this got a lot of people also upset. And so this is kind of twice that Beckett was trying to make these changes, and the community kind of pushed back against it. Now, we'll have to hand it to Beckett. I think that they actually did the right thing in listening to their customers. You know, you can't always listen to everything every single customer says. Ultimately, you have to make the best decision for you and your business. But for these things, which are mostly like aesthetic changes and then changes to, again, the grading scale, which is kind of your main service, I think a lot of collectors were worried about it devaluing their current cards. I can't remember even exactly what they were proposing at the time. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were going to include a gem mint 10, whereas right now they have two pristine 10s, the gold one and the black label, and they were also going to introduce a gold gem mint 10. Personally, I think it was a little too confusing, and I actually did submit that survey back when they sent it off, and the only kind of thing that I said is that I kind of wish that the subgrades kind of made it to where if you got two 10s and two 9.5s, that would be considered a 10, because currently you can only get a gold 10 if it's three 10s and one 9.5. So that was my only feedback, but again, even that I'm not even sure would have been the best move. But the main thing I expressed in that survey, and I think a lot of other people probably did as well, is that, you know, their customer service has not been the best. In fact, it's been basically non-existent. And so this video right here basically says, hey, we have listened to what you guys have said, and we are making changes to the things that you actually care about, like your customer service, turnaround times, and pricing, that sort of thing. And then now, if we go to the most recent video, this is the last announcement that we have seen so far. They actually announced basically new pricing. And I think this is very interesting. We're going to look on the website right here to see what it actually is. And by the way, I have to say, I feel like they've also made some improvements to their website. I think the marketing website looks very nice, and they've also made a lot of great changes to their submission process. I actually feel like it's very good. I know a lot of people still complain about it, but I don't know, I think it's pretty good. But anyway, guys, let's look at the pricing structure here. The main changes is that they've made some reductions in all of the grading tiers as far as the pricing goes. Now, first of all, you do have now a $15 tier. Now, this is without subgrades. Personally, I don't even think it's worth sending to Beckett without getting subgrades, but as you'll see here, if you do end up getting a 10, they will do a $3 upcharge to basically include subgrades. Now, the other base price with subgrades is now $18. Now, this is basically the same price that their bulk submission was, which is kind of cool. They actually kind of got rid of their bulk pricing altogether. So now you can basically submit as many cards as you want. You could submit one card at $18 or 20 cards at $18, and it's going to be that same price. I think that's kind of cool. So at this point, if you're wanting to be the most cost efficient at this base price, it's going to be mostly based on the shipping. You know, the more cards you send in one order, you may save some money on the shipping cost. And then for this base tier, it used to be a 60-day turnaround time, but as you can see here, it actually now is 45 days. So again, that's pretty good. And then I don't typically utilize these, but maybe I would consider it moving forward because they have reduced the pricing for their standard, express, and priority tiers. I can't remember what they were before. This one might have been 40. I think they may have mentioned in that video that they've reduced everything by at least 20% if I'm not mistaken. So, and these all include subgrades. I guess the only time you can get it without subgrades is at this base tier for $15. And since we're here, I just wanted to also review this in case you're not familiar. They also offer these additional services. I don't think that these have changed at all, but autographs, additional $5 to the grading fee, oversized cards, an extra $8, raw card review, which I haven't utilized yet, and the graded card review. They're not charging anything extra for that. I'd like to explore that at some point. I don't really know much about it, to be completely honest. And then also we have a relabel, which is just a straight $10 per card. And then a service that I'm actually utilizing in this submission that we'll see in just a moment is recasing. I actually got 2 cards recased that I'll kind of share why I got them recased once we get to them. But anyway, so those are some of the extras that you can add to it. And then if we want to just kind of compare this to the other 2 big grading companies, of course PSA being, I'd say, the biggest, the pricing, I guess you could say, is fairly similar, although there definitely are some differences in the structure of PSA versus BGS. So first of all, for PSA, you actually have to be a member to actually gain access to these 2 tiers right here, the Collectors Club. If I look over here, it looks like $149 for the year. So that's an upfront cost that you kind of need to pay in order to access their cheaper grading. And Beckett doesn't have that, which I've always liked that I don't have to pay that additional fee and not know whether or not I'm going to keep sending to them throughout the year. And then again, the other thing I've liked about Beckett is they don't do upcharges based on what the grade gets and the value of the grade. I personally think that that's such a stupid thing that PSA does. So yeah, anyway, I'm glad that that BGS does not do upcharges. But that aside, I mean, the turnaround time is about the same, 45 days. Let's see, we got a $19 tier, another 45 days. Oh, and these are also, that's another thing, so these are all bulk tiers. I forgot about that. So these ones actually require you to send in 20 cards. So this you actually would not be able to just send in 1 card or 2 cards at this bulk tier. So again, I wanted to explain all this because the differences in the pricing may seem very subtle, but actually they are quite big if you consider these factors of the having to pay for a PSA membership and then the bulk deals that they have. So for these ones at Beckett, you're not even submitting at bulk and you're still getting that $18 price tier, and you don't have to be a member or pay an additional membership fee to do that. Yeah, so I guess the main comparison would be this value tier. Like if you're not a member of PSA already, you don't know if you want to do PSA or BGS, $24 or $25 is what you would have to spend per card to just send in a couple cards, and this is without being a member. Whereas technically, for Beckett, you can send in at $18, or technically, if you don't want subgrades, you could even send in at $15. And then I figure let's quickly look at CGC as well. So they also have a bulk tier. Now I believe they have theirs in 2 different pricing. I'm assuming that this premium 1080 and the 960 is their membership pricing, I believe. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. It's been a while since I've sent to them. And so I guess you can send at $12 per card, but they do require you send 25 cards, and they can only be worth up to $250. Then they have their economy here, and again, they have discounted pricing for members. This is kind of almost a better way to do it, in my opinion. You still offer all these tiers to everyone, but if you submit to them enough, it might be worth it for you to pay the membership fee. So all things considered, when we look at that, $15 is basically the same price as Beckett's $15 for their base with no subgrades. But again, I'm just going to say it one more time. I don't think that that's worth it. I think if you're going to submit with Beckett, go ahead and just pay the few extra dollars to get the subgrades. So yeah, guys, those are the main announcements that they have made from Beckett so far. Now, they did say in the last video to stay tuned for more announcements in the future, so I don't know if there's more to come or if these are the main ones, but I don't know. I feel like things are moving in the right direction, at least based on what they've said. Now, we will of course, see whether or not they actually improve their customer service, if they actually improve their turnaround times. But ultimately, I'm excited. I guess I'll say I'm cautiously optimistic about it. You know, I'll probably continue to submit to Beckett regardless because I just really like the way their slabs look, and they do hold a decent value still. But again, as a Beckett collector, this does make me excited, and hopefully we'll start to see these changes implemented in the future. Now, real quick, guys, I wanted to take just a quick moment to plug my sketch art. Some of you may know that I'm actually a sketch artist for Topps. I mostly do a lot of Star Wars cards for them, but I also kind of have my own little sketch cards here, and you can go check out more of them on my Instagram. Go check out Legend of Luke Art. So this is actually my most recent Pokemon one that I really love. It kind of features Raichu with his trainer, Lieutenant Surge. Just kind of give him a little head rub there. So I thought that this would be a cool concept. So yeah, guys, go check out the art. I really appreciate it. And do me a favor, find the post where I've actually posted about this card right here and comment what you think I should do for the next card. Which Pokemon should I feature in the next one? Maybe you want to see me do it from some other franchise, but let me know that in the comment over there. And again, give me a follow over there. I really appreciate it. All right, but we won't keep you waiting any longer here. These packages have these little pull tabs, which is kind of nifty. I have noticed that the last sub and this one, they've included these bigger boxes with the kind of smaller box inside. I feel like they also did mention in one of those videos that they were including kind of faster shipping times and kind of just a standard shipping for all orders, so that may have something to do with it. All right, so a little bit of a smaller order this time. I think this was when they were doing a special. It was actually right before, not too long before they announced the new pricing and stuff. But they kind of ran some specials which were effectively the same price as the new pricing. So I figured I would go ahead and send off what I had available instead of waiting to get to 10 cards. And it was still just as cheap, other than the shipping costs, of course. Okay, this opens like this. Yeah, so you can see just a couple in here. They're stuffed in there pretty tightly. Okay, there we go. I think we got the first one out here. Let's find out. Okay, they got this little advertisement. Okay, nice. Okay, another one of our Shadowless cards that we've been sending in. So I've been slowly picking up these. These feel like very low price more recently, and so yeah, I've been wanting to get these all graded so I can display them all together. So we have the base set Shadowless Clefairy. Let's see what we got on it. We have we got an 8. That's very nice. To match our more recent submission, we got an 8 on our Shadowless Raichu and on our Shadowless Magneton, so that is very nice. And now it kind of makes you want to try and get an 8 for all of them, because we're getting 8s for several of them. An 8, I think, is a very solid grade for any Shadowless card. All right, next up we have, let's see. Okay, we have our other Shadowless card. I think these are the only 2 that I sent in like this. So, okay, we got the Zapdos. This one's a good bit more pricey than some of the other ones we've sent so far. Maybe similar to the Raichu, I would say. All right, guys. Like I said, I'm happy with, I think anything above a 7, to be quite honest. But, you know, since we got so many 8s, that's what we could hope for. What do we have on our Shadowless Zapdos? We have we got an 8 again. And I didn't get a chance to take a look at the subgrades. So we got centering 9, 8s on corners and surface, and then 7.5 on edges. What was it for this one? This one actually had a 9.5 on edges. Pretty crazy. Surface 7.5, 8.5, 8. Okay. Well, those are very solid. I'm really happy with those grades right there. Now, I do want to pull from this side because I don't know what order they're doing it in, but I'm just curious. We may have, oh yes, so I actually sent in 2 cards, like I mentioned before, to get reholdered, and there's a reason for that. I actually had purchased this card, and I can show you what the grade is, because I already know what it is. It is a 10, and I wanted to get this re-slabbed, assuming that they actually did it, because it had some really bad streaks on the inside of the case that it just was really making it hard to enjoy the card. But yeah, it looks like they did recase it, and I feel like that looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't know, it's probably, I don't know if that was the best $10 I've ever spent, but I don't know, guys. I just like to enjoy the cards that I have in my collection, and sometimes I have had a few times where that's happened, where it's almost like when they've slid the card in there, it's like caused streaks on the inside to where you can't like wipe it off, and it's, I don't know, that was really disappointing for me, very disheartening, because I did spend a lot on this one, but I did want to get this one in a 10. So I think this is a phenomenal card, probably the best card to come out in the last year or so, but anyway, that's obviously my opinion. So really happy to have that in a 10, and from what I can tell, it looks a lot clearer. Yeah, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. We'll obviously take a look a little closer later. And then there was at least one other card that I had sent in that I had actually gotten graded myself. I'm wondering if it's this one because it's right next to the other one. Let's see. We got something different, something a little different. I had totally forgot I sent this in. So we got Birthday Pikachu. I think when I knew I was going to send this sub off, I was like, man, I need to find some more cards to send in with it. So I was just sorting through some of my bins and seeing, could I find anything else that was grade worthy? And this one looked pretty solid. It has some pretty good centering on it. So we got the Celebrations Birthday Pikachu. Let's see, what do we got on this? I'm really curious about this. The last Celebrations card, we got a black label. That was the gold Mew, but I don't know, guys. What do we have? We got a 10. No way. That's amazing. Oh man, guys, to get a 10 on a modern English card in Beckett, just even a pristine gold label 10, it's pretty exciting. So I will be displaying the pop reports and the comps and pricing on screen. So yeah, I'd be interested to see what this is worth right now. That's a really cool one. Well, I think this is one that we got to display for the rest of the opening, and we're going to do so with our Collect 3D cases and stands right here. These are really cool. You just kind of pop right in there. Has a nice little plastic outer case, and then it has these stands that swing out, and then you can display your cards very nicely. So these come in a variety of colors, and they also are for each of the different grading companies. You can see CGC and PSA as well. The blue and the red I think look pretty nice as well. But if you want to pick up any of these Collect 3D cases, you can actually get a 15% off of your purchase by using my link and my code LEGEND in the comments below. So make sure you take advantage of that if you guys are interested. All right. Things are looking pretty good so far. I'm pretty thrilled. Oh man, okay, this one, oh man, this one, we got the Ancient Mew. I love this card. Got a nice swirl on there. I've been looking for a good copy of this card. The last one we got totally wrecked on. We ended up getting an 8. I thought it was like 9 worthy at least, but yeah, that was a little brutal. But it's such a difficult card to grade that yeah, because if you think about it, the entire front is hollow and the entire back is hollow. Not to mention there's always like different things going on. Even this one has like a print line. Now I'm just hoping that Beckett is not going to be as strict on the print line. All right, guys, let's find out, guys. Can we get better? I would love a 9. 9.5 would be insane because the gold would match great. All right, our Ancient Mew movie promo, we have 8.5. Dang. That's so brutal. Yeah, that wasn't the best. Still a beautiful one. Maybe this is one that will be in my collection because it does have a nice swirl on there. What happened here? Centering 9.5, edges 9.5, corners 9, surface 8. I guess that's to be expected. Now I combed over this this card, combed over the surface. I don't really know exactly what they saw. I don't know what's wrong with the surface. Maybe they did. Maybe they did actually consider that print line to be egregious enough. All right, guys, not too bad. Not great, not what we're looking for. Still hoping to get at least a 9 or above for one of these for my collection. So we do have just 3 left here. Again, one of them is our recasing, the other recasing, and then we actually do have some other stuff in here. Okay, this one is our recasing card, or whatever they call it, Reholder. I think they called it something different on the Beckett site, but usually they call this a Reholder. So this was a great card, and actually I can show you the grade. We got a 9 on it last time. It was actually our second sub. And again, this was another one that was just super streaky on the inside, and I was really kind of annoyed by it. And yeah, this looks so much better because it just has a really cool hollow foil pattern. It's the reverse hollow EX Delta species card. Yeah, and we got some good subgrades on this one as well. Very happy to get this one in a 9. It's very difficult to grade because of that reverse hollow on there and the hollow border, as you can see. All right, I think I'm happy with that. Again, we just wanted to get one that was a little clearer, and yeah, it seems like they've been doing a little better with that with the cards I've been sending more recently. All right, the next 2, if I'm not mistaken, we should have something a little bit different here. So we actually have some One Piece cards. This is a really cool promo card here that was given out at the Bandai World Tour Fest, whatever you called it. And yeah, I think it's a really unique card. Definitely hoping for a 10 on this one. I don't know. One of these had like a little surface issue on the back, I thought. So I don't know. Could we get a black label though on either of these? I think we have a second one here. All right, guys, let's find out. I'm not gonna keep you in suspense. We got, oh no, we got a 9.5. Dang, and just one off. What in the world? Edge is a 9.5. Man, I was really hoping for the 10 on that one. It's a little disappointing. And yeah, again, this is kind of what I mentioned earlier for the feedback I gave. I feel like, and again, this would obviously change the grades and the values for a lot of existing 10s, but I just feel like this should be a 10. Like when you have 2 9.5s and 2 10s, it does average out to what, like 9.75? So I don't know, I feel like you should round that up to a 10. And same with, you know, if you get 2 9s and 2 9.5s, maybe that's a bad example. No, yeah, that's a good example. I feel like 2 9s, 2 9.5s would typically be a 9, if I'm not mistaken, and then that would make it a 9.5. So it would apply all across the grading scale. Just my opinion, but again, it's probably also okay the way it is. It kind of makes getting a 10 all that more special. And then, guys, our last one here, can we get a 10 on our second Monkey D. Luffy Bandai World Tour promo card? We have a, oh yes, all right, we did get a 10. That's good, that's good. We didn't get totally wrecked on both of these. Neither of these had a 9.5 on the surface. Like I said, I thought the back had something going on with that, but all right, very happy with the 10 on this one. What a great way to end things off. I think that's our last one in there. Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I think you may want to check out one of our other Beckett returns here on screen next. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe below to support the channel. And lastly, I want to let you know that no matter what you're going through, you are not alone. God is with you and He loves you, and we do too. I'll catch you next time.